DoorDash is going public and they've announced that they're partnering with Klarna. If you're not familiar, Klarna is a buy now, pay later, buy now, pay in installments plan. Klarna is a lending agency. Before I get into how utterly fucking depraved this is, let me tell you a small story regarding consumer protection. I've told you guys about this guy before. He was an Uber driver. He had Uber and Lyft placards in the front of his car. He's outside of a stadium. He gets entrapped 2 different times by agents of the county asking him for an estimate of how much it would cost to get to Miami. He says $75, great. Couple weeks later, he has these agents come to his house with 2 tickets for $5,000 each, $10,000 in fines. The agents were agents of the county Consumer Protection Agency. And they were purporting to protect consumers from the risks that are associated with getting a ride from someone outside of the Uber app. Apparently, it's so risky and so dangerous to consumers to pay a guy for a ride that they're going to charge them. They have whole sting operations, and they're going to charge them $5,000 each time. Who is this really protecting? They're a protection racket for Uber and Lyft. That's Uber's money. That's Lyft's money. I know it's your car that you pay for. I know it's your property. And I know that 2 consenting adults can enter into a contract for one of them to provide a service in exchange for money. I need a ride. All right, it'll be $75. I know that that's all okay, but I also know that that's Uber's money. Uber needs their cut. So our government agencies, who we pay taxes to, are expending their resources to make sure that Uber and Lyft don't get cut out of their cut, to prevent you from using your own property to make money. And they call it consumer protection. Even though me as a consumer, if I ask Bob for a ride and I know I'm not doing it through the app, I full well know and am aware that I am not going through Uber or Lyft, right? I'm making that conscious choice, right? But daddy knows best. The Consumer Protection Agency says that they've got to get involved because that's just too risky for you, Sheila. So back to Klarna. The Consumer Protection Agencies have made public showings of pretending to crack down on, for example, payday advance places because they're predatory. And yet somehow they still exist. Their financing charges are unconscionable, and yet they're still in existence and still operating. Klarna has not historically been used in the food delivery space. But these apps, when you grant them permission, are able to see your behavior, and they get to see and quantify how many times you go all the way to the checkout and then abandon your cart when there's $40 in extra fees exclusive of a tip. They know you've got a credit card, so they know that you could put it on your credit card and incur fees and interest charges there. Ignore that bill. They know you could do that, and yet you're still not going through with the purchase. It must be the sticker shock. It must be you being responsible. It must be you saying, yeah, $40, even if I'm just looking at it in numbers, I'm not willing to pay that. Enter Klarna. Why don't we give them the option of financing it over time? Tell them it's interest-free for 4 months, and then we don't have to tell them about the rest. Why don't we give them that option? Because then the amount due today is 0. It's the psychology of it all. They know that you've got a credit card and you can finance the thing anyway, but you're being responsible. So they know that it's the money, it's the number that you're seeing at the checkout, the total due today that is making you close the app. What is more predatory than allowing for a external financing institution to solicit business at your checkout? And the fact that this is being announced at the same time as they're going public tells you exactly how much money they expect to make off of adding Klarna as a checkout option. People are going to say, well, that's everyone's own stupid decision. That's their own choice. I have 2 things to say to that. One is that all you have to do is watch one episode of Caleb Hammer to know how financially illiterate a lot of people are. And 2, yes, it is their own stupid choice. Yet, the government agencies that we pay money to get involved and say that even though it is your stupid choice to get into a car outside of the Uber app, I'm going to get involved. And I'm going to fine people $5,000 per transaction or attempted transaction. The solicitation of it alone is enough to get the fine. The agencies that we pay to purportedly protect consumers get involved in that scenario, but they're not getting involved in this scenario. In both instances, it is the people's own personal knowing choice. You have to ask yourself why. Why are they going after these Uber drivers? Because they're a protection racket for Uber and Lyft. They are helping Uber and Lyft get their cut. It is not consumer protection. This is a perfect illustration to further my point. They don't work for us. They don't work for us. Stop being mad at your neighbors and look up.